Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Host your online portfolio or shop all in one place, all on your terms. I've gotten a couple questions on my daily drawing videos asking me how I find so much time to draw every day, and in this video I wanted to share how I do that along with sharing art from February, including my daily drawings and my weekly illustration challenge. Okay, first I want to acknowledge how prevalent comparison is in the art community and like the toxic productivity culture, and how we form unrealistic expectations of how often or how much art we need to produce based on like seeing the post of other artists. Everyone has different living situations and work at different speeds, and if there's one thing I want you to take away from this video is to not compare yourself to me, because the biggest reason why I have so much time to draw is that it's my job. This isn't a reality for a lot of artists, and I want to acknowledge that and the privilege that comes with getting to spend more time on my art than a typical 9 to 5. All the art that you see in this video should not be held as a standard or a requirement for you to improve or to call yourself an artist. I'm a full-time artist and creator, and much of my content is based off of the art I create, so it's integral to include more frequent art sessions into my weekly routine. In order to get the projects that I want done, I need a daily art habit to keep the ball rolling, so I'm always working on something, whether it be personal illustration ideas, portfolio projects for future freelance work, or even character work for an upcoming video. That doesn't mean I get to sit down and draw every day all the time. Believe me, I wish I could. I would draw my cowboys all the time. They would be never ending. Most of my income pretty much comes from YouTube AdSense and sponsorships right now, so a bulk of my work week is typically spent researching, writing scripts, filming videos, editing, emailing, and negotiating with brands, designing products, all the other admin tasks that come with being self-employed. Super fun. It definitely fluctuates, but I feel like about a third of my actual work week is working on art projects, and the other 2/3 is like the business stuff. Last year, I really struggled with trying to find time to draw as I was building out my income sources and career as an artist, and that's why I knew it was really important to create a daily drawing habit for this year to keep myself sane and not like forget how to draw. So yeah, now I have a daily drawing habit, which I'm showing on screen now. These drawings can range from like one little doodle in my sketchbook for like the whole day to finishing entire paintings. It varies from day to day, but I overall really enjoy making this a staple of my day, and it's been super sustainable for me with like just keeping like a really low expectation to what I can do every day. And because of this, I've gotten a lot better at prioritizing my art and optimizing my time to work on the art projects I really care about while getting all of my other important business tasks done, like taxes. I hate taxes. They suck. Oh my God. I know a lot of you are either like full-time students or have full-time jobs that are not related to art, or have maybe whole families to take care of. So here's my best advice to maximizing the time you have to create on a daily basis. First, we gotta find the things that aren't really adding value or sucking up your free time that you have that could be spent doodling or sketching or working on something art related. That's right, I'm looking at you, TikTok and Instagram Reels and Pinterest, which I'm also very guilty of using all the time. But short form content like YouTube Shorts, TikToks, Reels can end up being such a time suck. You open up the app before bed and pretty soon it's like 3 a.m. and you've gone down yet another rabbit hole of FNAF lore for the third night in a row, and it's just like, where'd the time go? It's so easy to just keep on scrolling and be constantly entertained in short bursts, passively consuming hours of content that we don't even remember the next day. I think the long-term gains are pretty much like non-existent unless you're like actually like really learning something. I feel like if you find yourself relying on social media, like these short form videos in your downtime to keep you entertained or to pass the time, you can maybe swap some of that time to doodle or just scribble some things in your sketchbook. Nothing too crazy or complex, just a way to get your eyes off your screen and be a little bit more mindful. Also, I don't want to completely demonize using social media in your downtime. It has a lot of benefits like interacting with friends or mutuals, getting inspired by your favorite artists, and even discovering new art and media you've never seen before. And sometimes it's just good for us to take a break from the day for just some like mindless entertainment. Like all things, moderation is key, and too much of anything can be bad. So just be mindful of what you're consuming online and how often you are doing it. I also want to point out how important sleep is to our mental and physical health. Do not compromise your sleep and rest just to draw more. Speaking from experience, this just results in a crippling caffeine addiction that I'm still actively struggling through, as well as like poor quality of your artwork. Yes, you may get more art done staying up late, but the mental clarity, focus, and ability for your mind to process and store information is greatly reduced, and your following art sessions may be less productive and the results may be worse. Ever draw something late at night and think it's like the best thing you've ever done, only to like wake up the next morning and see it and see all the mistakes? This is partially due to our attention and focus diminishing as we prepare for bed. Also, if you're forcing yourself to stay up late to improve your artwork because like you just want to like improve really quickly, this may be doing more harm than good, and our brains do a lot of the important processing while we sleep, which includes like cementing what we learned from the day, and our body repairs itself through sleep. So these are like necessary processes to facilitate learning and growth. The other day, I think I'd set my alarm too early, thinking I'd be able to get more like admin tasks and artwork completed throughout the day, but by midday, the brain fog set in. It took so much more effort to do small tasks, and I eventually took a nap after dinner and therefore managed to feel so much better and actually get to work on some art in the evening, which was great. So make sure you're prioritizing your sleep however you can. So if you're watching this video and it's super late at night, go to bed. Turn this video off and go to bed. You put this video in your watch later and go watch it tomorrow in the morning when you're eating breakfast or something. Just go get some sleep. Time management skills are crucial to have with all the 100 different things going on in our lives, and knowing where your time is being spent is a great start in figuring out where you can add more art sessions in. This is where keeping a planner of some sort comes in handy, like either like a physical daily planner or a Notion dashboard to keep track of like work shifts, homeworks, and appointments. You actually get to see where you have free time to schedule art sessions and plan to meet your weekly art making goals. Staying organized and intentional, I think, is really key to managing your time. Time management skills have really helped me in both my creative and professional goals as an artist. I'm not gonna lie, it's really tough to balance everything, and finding time here and there on weekends or in the evenings after my workday to work towards some of my professional goals of developing my own website has definitely been a struggle. But with the help of Squarespace, who are also the sponsors of today's video, I was able to jumpstart my website building with a customizable template. And it truly is customizable. My website looks nothing like the original design, since I can change the page setup, color palette, fonts, and so much more. Their Fluid Engine feature allows you to literally drag and drop images and text and easily move things around on your page without spending hours learning complex coding. You can add an online shop, membership area, and even a blog to your site in the matter of minutes, and easily build a solid foundation for your online presence. So check out squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/sketchesofshay to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Big thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring the channel. Now back to the video. But what if you're a weirdo like me and don't have TikTok and already don't spend a ton of time on social media scrolling through posts, and you still feel like you never have enough time to draw? This could be because of like work, school, social obligations, things that you pretty much have to do and just can't neglect and can't compromise on, and I completely understand that. I struggled with the same thing last year. Yes, a lot of what I was working on last year was like technically art related with my business, but those art related tasks were writing scripts, editing videos, emailing brands, invoicing, bookkeeping, all the things that come with being a freelancer, artist / content creator. But eventually I really found that time blocking and finding the right time to draw over finding more time to draw eventually led to more drawing and ultimately better artwork in my case. Sometimes I thought if I could go through all the hard business and video creation stuff earlier in the day, then I could just spend the rest of the day working on art stuff and it could be really fun and relaxing. But what actually happened was that I kind of just trudged through the business stuff and admin tasks because they weren't nearly as interesting as the art part, and it resulted in me spending the whole day working on the business aspect and not having any more focus or energy for art in the evenings. I gave myself too much time to dilly-dally for the business stuff and ended up taking so much more time than it needed to, rather than like scheduling it after my art sessions in a more constrained time frame. That's why time blocking and figuring out when you are the most focused is so key to getting things done efficiently. I had to make art the priority and be more structured with my other tasks to get the most out of my schedule while not overworking myself into the night. Having a physical planner to map out my daily schedule and using software like Notion to keep track of my monthly schedule definitely helped me stay on track to meet my goals and plan out my week, so I could really ensure I was both working on my art and reaching my creative goals while still maintaining other obligations like making YouTube videos and other business stuff. I would highly recommend to keep any sort of planner to block out times to make art and stay organized with your other tasks. I think really staying organized with your time streamlines your workflow and really optimizes your schedule for making art and other fun things that you want to do. If you find the time of day where you have the best focus and energy, try to prioritize a drawing session or two during that time. I think I typically feel the most productive and creative in the mornings. Yeah, I'm one of those like ridiculous morning people, and I get a random boost of like creative energy in the evening sometimes, so I try and move things around in my schedule to kind of like fit my art sessions in there. But I know a lot of us have a lot more fixed schedules where you can't just like move around your work shift to best suit your needs. You work for someone else, you can't always have that control. So we kind of have to like work around this and experiment with what works best. Maybe this is arriving early to your first class and spending some time in your sketchbook as you wait for class to start, or maybe it could be the downtime after decompressing from work and incorporating it into your self-care routine and just making it a really mindful and relaxing experience. I think overall, try to experiment and find a personal time for you that works. It definitely may take a couple trial runs that lead to like either like super distracted or weird drawing sessions, but if drawing more frequently is a priority for you, you will find a way to make it work. This could even look like doodling and sketching for a couple minutes throughout the week and then saving bigger chunks of downtime during your weekends to devote to bigger projects. I mentioned this in my art student video from a couple weeks ago. I think it was like 1 or 2 videos ago, but I love the idea of mini art sessions in your sketchbook, or even just a notepad or a scrap sheet of paper. A simple little scribble of some ideas, an OC portrait, or drawing from observation can spark so much creativity and motivation to keep on creating. Keeping this really mini art session habit builds up over time and ultimately leads to your art improving and developing your artistic voice in a very natural and sustainable way. And I feel like a lot of creators don't really talk about that, but like you can't just like fully structure out and kind of like a formula or like a logical way. I feel like a lot of what happens through art is just very natural, and it grows and develops over time. So it's just like a really great way to kind of support that creative journey. So don't discount the little blocks of time in between school or work. Find the little moments and take advantage of them for your art. Another way you can find more time to draw is get an art friend or like an art buddy or someone to spend time making art with. Someone you can meet at a cafe or library or even at home on a Discord server and just sit down and talk and draw together. I think it's so valuable to be able to share ideas with another artist and talk about art things and just learn from each other. Making social events around art can also really boost your creativity and motivation. You see other artists working on stuff and it's super inspiring. It's just like, man, now I want to work on stuff. These artists are so cool and they have such great ideas, and it inspires me to do the same. When I was still in school, I had a shared studio space with a couple other painters, and it was always so motivating to see them painting and also be able to listen to them speak about their work, ask them questions, give feedback, share ideas, and just ultimately just enjoy each other's company. Having a little art group can really feed into your artist's soul and just naturally result in more art making and feeling supported in a community. And I think once you find a good time of day and good routine with drawing, it will eventually create a long-term habit of just regularly drawing without even thinking twice about it. It just becomes a normal part of your everyday life, and it doesn't take as much effort to motivate yourself since it's something you just habitually do and just becomes fun. It's just a part of your life. And I think my last tip is to just really make sure you love creating and you're not just forcing yourself to draw every day or more frequently for the approval of others or any other outside opinion. For this to become a sustainable lifelong journey, you really have to enjoy the process of honing your skills and developing your stories. And not to get too existential, but our time is finite. We only have so much free time from work, school, and social obligations. So we want to spend our free time like to the fullest. And if that means spending a little less time on art to like spend that with friends and make memories, I think that's worth it. So it's a constant balancing act. It'll never be perfect, but just staying mindful with like why you like to make art and just really making sure that you're enjoying the process and you're doing it for yourself, I think is really important. Another important reminder with all these tips is that your value as a person is not linked to how often or how much you create. You might be juggling a lot of things right now, like a job, maybe even finding a job, school, applying to school, family, exercise, moving apartments, dealing with mental health or physical health issues, keeping up on housework, cooking dinner, maintaining a relationship. All of these things are really important aspects of your daily life. And in my opinion, you shouldn't sacrifice your health for your art. I think there are times when we are busier where we don't get to spend as much time as we want on our art, and it really sucks. But I want you to know that it's okay to not draw every day or to make art every week. You may see your favorite artists post often to their social media, making it seem like that's the golden standard and the expected pace for art making. But everyone's in a different situation. Everyone works at different speeds and are at different points in their art career. Some of the artists you see online make art as a living, so logically they just have more time to devote to their art because they sustain themselves on their artwork. Find the best sustainable routine that works for you and your schedule, stick to it, just enjoy the process and the journey of being an artist. There's no rush. Your art is not content to be pumped out to feed an algorithm every day. Your art is the characters you love, the stories you write, and the ideas that you believe in. I still think you should delete TikTok though. All right, see you next week. Bye guys.